Now that we've taken a look at the four elements, which are the building blocks of creation, fire, solids, liquids, gas, same thing as fire, earth, water, and air. It's important to take a look at what makes water so unique. And more importantly, why is it so important right now in this evolutionary moment? Well, water affects us all because the earth is 80% water and the human body is 70 to 80% water. Some of the characteristics of water are that it freezes from the top down, which preserves life. Its molecular structure allows it to receive vibration and actually hold that energy and hold that consciousness. So it retains vibration. And I encourage anyone who has not ever heard of Dr. Masaru Emoto to look up his work and his books, The Hidden Messages in Water, the work that he did that revealed how water crystals actually change form depending upon what vibration it's exposed to, whether it's music or positive thoughts and words that hold a high vibration. Wilson Bentley is another one who revealed to the world that no two snowflakes are alike. Snowflakes, wintertime, made of water, they are also six-pointed stars, the same as the water crystals that Dr. Masaru Emoto photographed. Wilson Bentley was able to photograph snowflakes, and although they all do have 6 points, they each have a very unique configuration, and he explains why. It basically has to do with the snowflake's journey through cloudland and how it responds to the elements to which it is exposed. In my view, this is a perfect analogy for soul's journey through eternity and why each astrological signature is so unique. Now, besides Masaru Emoto and Wilson Bentley, there's a third person that I have to mention, and his name is Rustum Roy. In his research on water and a presentation called Water, Water Everywhere and So Little Understood, Roy explained that it is the structure, not the composition of water, that responds to change. He emphasized that the first law of materials science is that structure determines properties, not the other way around. And whereas most scientists believed that composition determined structure, his research showed that it was the other way around. And as a result, there are infinite types of liquid water. Not all water is the same at all. But more importantly, his research showed that because structure is so influenced by its environment and can be changed by many things, including electromagnetic fields, it is able to transfer information without involving any substance. And this is why human intention and prayer and positive vibration actually impacts the structure of water, which then in turn impacts its composition. This is monumentally important to what is happening in our world today and why water is so very important as an element for all of us, and why we need to pay attention to our thoughts, to the language we use, whether it is with other people or even the personal narrative that we have towards self, and why our bodies are so susceptible to the language we use and the self-talk that we practice. Here is a picture of the grand sextile in Sedna's discovery chart. So at the moment that Sedna was discovered, there are planets, including North Node conjunct Sedna. There are planets that create the signature of water, the six-pointed star. Now, 6 is relevant because it represents balance. In the body, we have 6 acupuncture meridians that circulate above the waist. and 6 meridians that circulate below the waist. There are 3 yin and 3 yang. What is also interesting, whether it is by coincidence or design, our DNA also looks like a 6-pointed star. And you can see with the 6-pointed star, there's a triangle that points toward heaven and a triangle that points toward earth. It represents the 2 polarities that must be harmonized. It's important to understand that since Sedna's discovery in 2003, we have had many intense water events, including the tsunami in Indonesia in 2004. In a little over a decade, we had 12 tsunamis, compared to the total of 18 tsunamis between 1950 and 2000, before Sedna was discovered. So there has been an increase in water events. All of this is simply revealing to us the importance of our relationship to water, emotions, intuition, and consciousness. The planet Sedna was named after the immortal sea woman from Inuit culture. This is the first planet to have been named outside Greco-Roman tradition. So she, upon her discovery, broke through to new territory in many different ways. Sedna also breaks into new territory because the planet was given its own classification called Sednoid. It is part of the larger group of trans-Neptunian objects, but because of its unusual orbit, it was given its own classification. And because Sedna is associated with the season of winter, there is a correlation to Chinese medicine. Winter and water are associated with the kidneys, the bones, but also in its association with the kidneys, it represents blood, bone marrow, our DNA, and our connection to our ancestors. The emotion associated with the element water in Chinese medicine is fear. And we have certainly had to deal with a lot of fear in the collective psyche since 2020, 2021. But Sedna is showing us how to transcend this fear. It's not an absence of fear. It is coming face to face with fear and being able to choose a different path. And if we recall that Sedna is associated with the eagle, able to transcend duality and the extreme polarities, the extreme responses. It's finding the current of source and being able to soar with ease and grace. If we're going to do that, we need to take a look at what is required of us now. In order to restore balance, we have to look at what is out of balance. And for the last several thousand years, our value system has been based upon what is visible, what is already manifested. It's been more about what we can accumulate, how we can compete, and perhaps now what we need to do is cultivate the riches that exist within us, which represents consciousness, our spiritual fortitude, our spiritual connection, our connection to each other, our imagination, our intuition, and how can these fortify what we manifest in our outer world. It's not that one is better than the other. They have to come into balance. And therefore, intuition, imagination, creative potential, and exploring the unknown mysteries are all part of what we need now to focus on and come back into balance within our own being individually and then in our greater world as well. In the next video, we will be looking at 2023 highlights. It will be quite an eventful year with astrological events occurring from mid-January straight through to July. So I hope that you've enjoyed the series so far. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will be back soon with highlights of 2023. Talk to you then. This is Jennifer.